All right, let's get started. The most important thing, in my opinion, is simply that to start. This is the way that I do it. Nobody has to do it this way, nor do I think anybody can, really. I especially don't think anyone should. So, what have we done? We put some marks on the paper. Now, what I've done is make marks on the paper until I've started to feel bad, right? What is this? I don't know. Is this shape meant to represent something? Is this what I want to draw? I'm not sure. There's a lot of anxiety, but I let my hand go until I found the first thing that I always look for, a mistake. Okay? I don't like this. There's no feeling to it. It's simply placements on a piece of paper, okay? It doesn't elicit anything from me emotionally, and I'm not getting any use from it. In fact, even looking at it triggers this thing, and you're hearing it in my voice right now. It's called frustration. Okay, so now we're trying to add some emotion to it. We're trying to find out what it is that I'm looking for. Huh? Like, why did I even start that way? Do I want to draw down today? Do I want to pull my lines this way? Is that why I had such an energy here? Is it just something subconscious? Or was it a random accident? It doesn't matter. What we've done is achieve something important: energy, movement, excitement, frustration, emotions. Everything's already boiling, okay? And that's how you get started. Let's focus on that again, okay? Because it doesn't matter the ending stages, it's all about the start, right? So, again, you can do this in any way you want, you know? You're just sort of like putting lines down, okay? If you have an idea of what you want to draw, fantastic, excellent, awesome, do that. But if you just want to draw and communicate with yourself and communicate with your hand, it's important to do this, which is express something abstract. Okay? Now, this is looking a little more balanced, right? It is. It fundamentally is. And why? Because I already had a picture where I felt completely powerless. There was no objective in my mind. I was just making marks on paper. I'm not saying that you necessarily have to just chew through pieces of paper like this, but it's an important factor to consider when you're starting. You have to start. You're not going to like the first thing you do if you don't have a plan. If you don't have a plan, that's okay. You can still just draw. Okay, so we've got a lot of space here, right? I'm not feeling entirely pinned down by any of this like those other lines. These lines feel a little bit more energetic. We still got that long shape through the middle. That's an echo of the last picture. Do we want to keep that echo? I don't know. Where are we going with this? We're going to find out, okay? You have to let yourself find out. Is this what I want to draw today? Is this giving me a good feeling? Or am I just being filled by more and more anxiety at the tension that is being created by not knowing what's happening? Do I want to know what happened? Do I want to know what's happening? Do I want to just fall into something? I appear to be going for some environmental thing, right? We've got some sort of like larger scale structure in the front, smaller scale structure in the back. We've got some perspective, blah, blah. Is that what I want to do? I don't know. But I'm digging, okay? I'm finding things. And you don't find those things unless you look for it. Okay, all right, we've got something here, right? There's certainly something. Let's just echo this shape again and see if this has any meaning to us. I'm not getting too much, but I am starting to communicate with depth. So I'm feeling that I'm going to want to draw something that has space. I'm not going to want to draw an object, settled in. So let's start with some longer things again. Let's get something a little bit more open. And again, this is the next stage, okay? This is the work. This is the sweat. What am I doing? Am I just drawing the space that was in between there? Why am I doing that? This is starting to get a little, just, tiresome. I'm already tired of it. Because that's how it is at the start. You're tired of the process. You don't know what's going on. You don't know why you're doing things. It doesn't feel like it's worth anything, and you start to get a little agitated. Now you see how my lines are a little harder right now? Because I'm desperately trying to reach a solution from that last one. I didn't look with this one. I just said, well, is this what I want to draw? And what am I doing? I'm drawing a target right here. I'm asking for something to be right here, right? Is that what I want to do? Do I want to zoom in on this? Why? Why do I want to zoom in on this? What does this mean? Is this an explosion? Am I trying to do some cityscape thing? Again, we're doing this shape back here. Is that to counter the shape that originally came there? But look, it's still there. That shape's still there. And it's still creating this tension. Now, continuing to fight that tension is part of drawing, in my opinion. Because of the energy we've built up, now there's expectation. Now we have things that we want to do. Now we have things that we don't want to do. How are we going to find out what we need to do? The frustration boils up, and we have to find a way to counter that. So we attack it from a vibrantly different angle. You see how my lines are going up now instead of left and right? It's forcing me to think in a different way, especially considering I was drawing these sort of horizontal landscape things. Now, my marks are going up and down. To what effect, we don't know yet, but I'm still getting these large shapes. See, it's pretty interesting, right? Why am I continuing to draw shapes? Is it because I do want to draw this landscape still? Yes, there appears to be some desire in me to still continue to draw large architectural sort of shapes. Okay, interesting. We're getting there. There's a little bit more energy in this. I'm finding this to be a little bit more exciting, right? I'm getting a little bit of interest from this. My brain is starting to nudge away from that anxiety of like, what the hell am I doing? Why am I even moving this stupid piece of graphite up and down this dead tree? Why do I exist? Why am I drawing? Why am I an artist? None of those things come to mind. I'm starting to get lost in the process of like, well, what the heck is going on here? Huh? What the heck is going on here? This is something, right? Okay. There's a little bit of glee in my voice. You'll hear a little bit of tint. That's because I am smiling just a bit. Because I'm not there. I don't really like where this is going, but the flavor and the angle, it's being brought to a place that I enjoy, right? Because you have to aim. You have got to cast out your net. You've got to throw the damn fishing line in the water or you're never going to catch anything. You know what I mean? You've got to try. So now we're countering these hard up lines with some subtle side to side. Now this is interesting. I typically don't do that many environments. I'm normally a character artist, or I'm focused on these sort of like gnawing emotions that are so blatantly human I can't help but to represent them in a very human way. But I appear to be trying to counter that as hard as possible by using these shapes. Now, what do these shapes mean? Okay, are they supposed to be foliage? Are they supposed to be the atmosphere? Why would I want to draw atmosphere or foliage? Is this supposed to be a forest? Is this supposed to be the inside of a sheltered grove? I'm not sure yet, but here's the exciting part. I still feel a connection to this. I still feel some emotion. I still feel some need to prove that what I've done up to this point has had a reasoning, has had some sort of, energy and thrust to it. And it doesn't. I threw away those other two things. Nothing matters. Nothing actually matters. But I've tricked myself into believing that it does. I've tricked myself into wanting to continue on something that I kind of already know is not going to be anything more than kindling. Okay? You can get all the kindling you want and you can put it in a pile and you can spark it, but if it's not dry, it's not going to burn, right? You've got to dry out your kindling, okay? Just because you have it doesn't mean that anything's going to come from it. Okay, I'm not getting what I was looking for from this. But I feel a different emotion right now because I've been pulled into this enough that I want to get value from it. I want to mine the strength that is apparent in the work that I've already done, right? So in almost a defiant frustration, I start adding harder decision lines, right? I'm like, well, no, these are structures, right? Well, I don't I don't know, maybe they are definitely going to be mountains, okay? Oh, that's such a simple and basic explanation, Wyatt. Are you sure they're going to be mountains? Why can't they be something else, huh? Why can't they be trees? Well, trees and mountains are both the same thing, okay? It's still a same boring expression of environment. That doesn't excite me. This still isn't sort of like pulling something from me. Where's the story in this? What's happening? Where are the things going? What are these spaces? What kind of story do I want to tell? And then I fall out of love with it. And this is where the really exciting stuff happens, okay? Destruction is such an important part of creation. I can't even begin to express how important it is. Now, there's genuine anger in what I'm doing. Because now I feel like not only am I wasting anybody who's watching this time, but I'm wasting my own time. I'm wasting lead on my pencil. I'm wasting paper. There are consequences to what I'm doing. There's always consequences. There's always an end. There's always a reason we want to do something. What do I want to show with this environment that keeps ripping out at me? What do I want to be? Just show it to them. Show it to yourself. Find it. Find it. A solution or an answer is what I'm looking for, it appears. Disheveled, cragged pieces of things that I used to love, piling together to make what? A trial? A trial. Interesting. A terribly difficult pathway. Why? Maybe it's to represent what it's like to walk the path that I'm trying so desperately to explain. It is fraught with difficulty, unevenness. Why are we taking this path? What's the story? What's the story of the path? Here we go. Here we go. This is where focus comes to light. We're trying to measure out these large shapes to say something. Are they smoke? Why wouldn't they be? Why wouldn't they be smoke? Of course there's smoke. We're at the center of a volcano. Is that because there's sweat on my brow right now? And I'm thinking earnestly about what I'm doing? I'm not focusing on anything. Hell, my own voice is really just there. Trying to find out why I'm here too. Here we go. Here we go. Now you'll notice I'm not really using an eraser. I'm trying to be additive so that I don't get tied into one image too tightly, right? Yes, at this rate there is a chance that I can ruin a page, but as you can see, I'm very comfortable with discarding it and getting another page. Because that's not why I'm drawing right now. Drawing right now to communicate a sincerity with myself and my hand. The more time I spend in this state, the more I ensure that my lines are ruled by sincerity and by nothing else. Anger, fear, and pain do not rule this zone The only thing present in this state is effort. Effort to pull something from a limited pool. I can only do so much before it's washed away. Long, twisting shapes. A serpent would certainly be an interesting solution for this visual problem I've given myself. It's not hard to come to that conclusion. There was something down here, though. I think what I wanted to communicate more than anything was height. What is this shape here? Oh, I see. Oh, I found it. Like a lot of things I do, I often clutch too tight or zoom in too much. But I feel like I know what I'm trying to do now. I want to draw the birth of a snake. I want to draw an egg, a beautiful, hard shape, ruined completely, disheveled, and past its prime. And from that I want life to come twisting and boiling out 1,000 times over and over again. I'm interested in this bursting and vibrant form that the snake offers. A ball of string and muscle. That is what I'm looking for. Unsurprisingly, I've arrived at a objectively personal solution, right? This isn't a challenging composition for me to come to, but it's certainly one that I would have never thought to do on my own. I have no reason to want to do something like this. I would have much rather drawn some anime figure or, I don't know, maybe one of my comic book characters. But I feel inspired. Being able to reach the state of self-inspiration is, without a doubt, easy. You saw me do it right now without much effort at all, but you did see me apply some effort, correct? Before this, I was feeling annoyed. I didn't necessarily want to go on this voyage. Very few people feel excited about work. I myself very rarely feel excited about genuine work. I think by nature, humans don't like work. That's just sort of like a thing. So how do we get ourselves there? How do we get ourselves to this stage where I'm absolutely in love with this idea, where I'm looking at every inch and part of this, where I have the desire to truly communicate what I think is a beautiful expression of life, a vibrant, alive life. I want to look up a reference shot and fix this egg so that, I don't know, maybe it has more reality to it. If I remember correctly, reptile eggs are leathery, so they much less crack and more bend and rip. This sort of like interesting thing. But now I'm all fired up. And the way that you get here, as you saw, is through mistakes. That is the one thing that I want to communicate with today's video. There are no mistakes. There are only things you do that get you somewhere. Everything you do in a drawing, everything you do in life, everything you do in general brings you somewhere. use it. Use that self sort of propelling engine. Like just do it. And that involves making mistakes. That involves having tension. That involves being nervous. That involves not knowing what the hell you're doing. It does. It has to. It needs to.